Hello everybody, my name is David Lefebvre. I'm sitting here in the Epigm office in London with my colleagues Sarah and Annie. Welcome to this webinar on how can you help ensure your students are avoiding plagiarism. Okay. This is me on the left. This is my colleague Sarah, who's going to give a demo of the system. So first we're going to give a short background to Epigm in case you don't know who we are. We're a very unique organisation. Then we're going to give an overview of the Avoiding Plagiarism course. So the Avoiding Plagiarism course is a course and a system that can help train your students effectively in how to avoid plagiarism as part of a campaign to reduce plagiarism in your institution. Then we're going to give. Then I'm going to pass on to Sarah, who will actually show you the course and show you the system, so you can see what it looks like. Then we'll talk about student feedback, because we've had very positive student feedback on this course. The students believe it helps them. And then at the end we'll take a Q&A. So if you have any questions as we go along, please type them into the box. We'll try and answer them as we go along, and if not, we'll answer them at the end. Okay. So first of all, about Epigm. So we were started in 2005 as a spin-out from Imperial College. So at Imperial College we have an EdTech department, which does a lot of research into pedagogy and e-learning systems, and we use that to produce courseware for other universities. There's another unique part to Epigm, which is one thing we found at Imperial College was building online courseware is very expensive for a single institution. So we build our courses in collaboration with other institutions. So we bring 20 universities together on average. Everybody pays a 20th of the development cost, and then together we build an online course. It's tested with the students in these universities. The universities share their knowledge, and what comes out at the end is this process is a much higher quality course than any individual institution can use. And we then license it to other universities. This gives more money, which can be used to keep the course updated, etc. It's now part of Oxford University Press, so Epigm is a non-profit. It's fully owned by university sector, and it came out of Imperial College. So it's really an organisation that enables us to build very high quality online courseware. We're now go on to bullet point 2, we're now the leading publisher of online courses designed to transform the way in which universities and colleges support their core activities of research, teaching and learning. So Epigm doesn't produce courses on the core curriculum, but we produce courses that sit around that. How to do research, how to teach, how to do statistics, maths, and here plagiarism. And this plagiarism course was developed in the same way. The last point here, so we've got a lot of courses now. We've been doing this for about 10 years, and we offer 78 online courses across 12 different programs or collections, and we have 7 more in development. So it's quite a large company now. There's 50 of us here, and we build a lot of these online courses, and the firm is pretty good at it now. We're based in London, but we've been global right from the start, and we work with 260 universities worldwide, and we help them deliver these programs online. So why a course on avoiding plagiarism? Well, if you're on this webinar, you probably agree that plagiarism remains a common problem in universities. Okay? It's an old problem and it's a current problem. The results of a student plagiarism can cause anguish for the student and the university alike. So it can be a very serious matter for the students, and it's also a serious matter for people on the other side who have to deal with plagiarism cases. So it's a very unpleasant problem for all concerned. The third bullet point here, what we believe is that there's a place for positive messages. So many instances of plagiarism are accidental. It caused through poor record keeping or a misunderstanding of what plagiarism is and why it's so important, etc. So what we believe is that a positive training program on avoiding plagiarism used in conjunction with a plagiarism detection software such as Turnitin, together these the positive and the punitive can create a very effective method of reducing plagiarism in an institution. So moving on to the solution that Epigeum's built, the Avoiding Plagiarism course system. So Avoiding Plagiarism is a concise but comprehensive course on how to avoid plagiarism, how to correctly use citations and references. Used in conjunction with its accompanying online learning system or your own institution's BLE LMS, this course will give you assurance that all your students have been adequately prepared for their assignments. So as you'll see shortly when Sarah demonstrates it, it's an online course, and this online course can sit within your learning system, so it's compatible with Blackboard, Moodle, Canvas, etc. Or it can sit in our learning system. And there's advantages and disadvantages to each of those. The advantages of putting it in your own system is that you can tailor the course. You can add screens, delete screens, add your logo, add links to your institution's resources. And of course all the data and is within your own system. The advantage of using our system is that it's very easy to use. It's very easy to get up and running quickly. So if you subscribe to the Epigeum learning system, then immediately all of your students, or in fact anybody with an email address from your institution, can register for free. So all you need to do is send an email out to your students, tell them to take the course, then you can tell them to bring their certificates to class, or you can log on and see who's done what. Very easy. So those are the two ways in which it can be used. The second point here is that the Avoiding Plagiarism course minimises the risk of negligence claims. It does this in two ways. One, it educates your students in matters of plagiarism more effectively, and secondly, you have a record that people have been trained in how to avoid plagiarism. So that's it in a nutshell. What does the course look like? Well, it's evolved over the years in response to student feedback, etc. Here's some of the highlights. It's highly interactive, as you'll see. And at this point, I think I'll pass on to Sarah, who will actually show you the system.
Okay, I'd like to give you a brief demonstration of some of the screens and features of the online course. So we'll start here. This is the portal from where your students and you will gain access to the course. You can see how long it will take there. And once you click on that, you go to the main welcome page here. So we have these welcome pages on all of our courses. It just kind of gives you a bit of a starting point for the course. You start with a list of authors here, the people that wrote the materials, learning outcomes for the course, a detailed course structure to give you an idea of what to expect along the way, some highlights to look out for, and also a list of supporting institutions who were involved in the development of the course. So starting with the first main screen of the first course, I'll begin by highlighting a couple of features relevant to all our courses and screens. At the top of every screen we have a learning outcome, so that students are aware of what is going to be covered in the screen and also what they should have learned and should be able to do after completing it. We also offer an estimated duration for each screen. Here it's 6 minutes, so that students have an idea of how long it's likely to take for them to work through the screen. So now moving into the main screen content, this screen introduces the student voice into the course. So we start with a text entry activity here in which students taking the course can consider some key questions about plagiarism and note down their answers. This encourages reflection on their own existing knowledge and also encourages them to note down their thoughts to keep the learning active. Then they move on to a video in which real students give their thoughts on the same questions. We try to use video as much as possible in our courses as it really helps to bring the material to life. This particular instance offers course users the opportunity to compare and contrast their own responses with those of the students featured in the video.
Plagiarism facts, copying somebody's exact words, it's academic fraud.
For me, plagiarism is basically stealing someone else's idea and passing it off as your own.
Video is shot in vox pop style, and it is engaging and interesting for students taking the course to hear what their peers have to say. It's also worth noting here that all videos come with a transcript. Also, all of our course screens have a text version, so that the course is fully accessible for those with screen readers or who are unable to use the interactive version for any reason. You can access this by clicking this button over here. Now you'll see on the right-hand side of each screen we have little boxes, or as we like to call them, pods, which contain supplementary information, links, definitions, activities, and so on. The type shown here is an optional activity pod, which invites students taking the course to extend or apply their learning in some way. In this case, we've suggested that they set up a discussion group with other students taking the course so that they can discuss issues that come up as the course progresses. This can help e-learning students feel like they are in more of a learning community. I've chosen this screen as it shows off a nice feature of this course, comic strips which help to explain key learning points. In this case, poor old Tekla has written down a third-party quotation in his notes without a reference, and then goes on to reproduce the quotation in his essay as though it were his own words, only to be picked up for plagiarism by his teacher. We've had feedback from students who have taken the previous version of this course requesting more imagery, and we found these comic strips to be effective and engaging in other Epigeian programs as well. There are 3 comic strips in the Avoiding Plagiarism course. There's also a nice example of one of our interactive activities on this screen. This is a decision tree which students taking the course can follow to help them to decide how to appropriately quote, paraphrase, cite, and reference. They are asked whether their work contains any third-party material and then answer the questions yes or no to find out the correct course of action. This activity helps to build up a thought process to help ensure that students always quote, paraphrase, cite, and reference correctly. This is an example of a screen which provides an opportunity for students taking the course to apply, test, and consolidate their learning. There are 2 quizzes on this screen drawing together the concepts covered in this unit. This is a multiple choice quiz in which the user is presented with an example piece of material and then asked to decide whether or not they would need to acknowledge the material if used in their work. Users can see their score as they work through the quiz and receive feedback on each of their answers. This second activity presents students with a piece of academic writing followed by various revisions of the text. Students have to decide whether each revision constitutes plagiarism or acceptable usage. Feedback is provided for each example. This kind of interactivity is a great way to keep students engaged and helps them to apply the principles they have read about to some real-world examples. Students can select an appropriate disciplinary area from the activity menu so they get to work through examples more relevant to their course of study. This screen explains the differences between citations and references and how to compile them. This activity provides an opportunity for students to practice inserting correct citations for a variety of different sources. Books, journals, websites, chapters within an edited collection are some examples. Examples are taken from a variety of disciplines, and this kind of activity helps to keep the learner active and engaged. This activity allows students to examine and understand all the different elements of an academic reference for a variety of different materials. Both Harvard and numeric styles are covered, and examples are taken from a variety of different disciplines again. So next to this activity, you can see that there are lots of different pods on this screen. I'll take you through a couple of them just so you can see what they're like. So this is a useful links pod. There are lots of these pods throughout the course, offering links to useful online resources that students can consult. This is an excellent way of providing an opportunity to explore topics in more depth without bloating the core course material. We create these pods in such a way that links can be replaced if or when they become inactive. Your context pods, these in default mode encourage students to find out their institutional or departmental guidelines in relation to a particular learning point. These pods are customizable, so universities can insert institution-specific text or links to the relevant resources so students have all the necessary information to hand. Finally, on this screen, I'd like to point out this Do This icon. We use this icon as a means of highlighting points of particular importance for students. On this final screen, I'd like to show you. The idea here is to provide links to a variety of articles about real-life cases of plagiarism, both to pique students' interest and show them how damaging the consequences of plagiarism can be. Again, this page is hosted by Avoiding, so articles can be swapped or removed if the links become inactive. I hope this has given you a good taste of the course content and some of the pedagogical features with this demonstration. If you have any questions, please do jot them down now or feel free to contact someone at Epigm after the webinar. I'll pass it back to David now.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. So we're making good progress in this webinar, and the next question is, who is this course for? Well, it's designed for undergraduate and taught postgraduate students, so undergraduate and masters on the whole. It can be used by PhD students, but they would probably need some supplementary materials in addition. Secondly, the course is suited to all discipline areas, so there's a variety of examples throughout, whether it's computer programming, humanities, social sciences, etc. And the last point is very important. We've made sure that it's accessible to both home and international students. So the language is tempered and accessible to ensure that the international students can access it as easily as the home students. The feedback from students has been very positive. So 96% of students state this course to be effective in improving their understanding of how to improve plagiarism, which is the key metric. And 85% of students state the quality of the course to be either high or very high. So, so the students believe that this course helps them. Here's some of the quotes we get, and the interesting thing about the quotes is that they reveal that students didn't feel that they were adequately prepared in the past. So they knew it was a very important issue, but some of them at least lacked confidence, and the course really helped give them that confidence that they knew exactly what they had to do. So that's a primary benefit of the course. Okay, so so that's our presentation. So it's an effective online training course that can be used in your VLE or in our VLE. It's used by quite a number of universities now, and the response from the students has been very positive. So we believe that this course can really help you get to grips with the issue of plagiarism as part of a sort of coordinated project. Okay. So I hope you find it interesting. We'll look at questions now. If you have any questions, please type them into the box. Okay. So we have a hello Eva. So we have a question on the price. I can give you an idea of the price. Here we go. If you want an exact price, then please contact Wendy, who I'm sure you've already been in contact with. But the price is usually a few £1,000s a year. So it's not hundreds of pounds, it's not tens of thousands of pounds, but it's a few £1,000s. And it really depends on how many students you use it with. So that's an idea of the price. And for an exact price, please contact Wendy. Hello, Nancy. So I've got a question from Nancy. How much of the content may we edit? So there are some restrictions, but they all relate to the fact that the author's name is on the top. So you don't want to change what the author says. What you can do is you can delete screens, you can add screens, you can move the screens around, and you can edit the resources screen, which provides links to additional resources. And these 4 things are usually enough to do whatever you want to do. So it's pretty flexible. Hello, Jessica. So the question from Jessica is, did I understand correctly that the whole course is expected to take 60 minutes to complete, including exercises? Yes, that's right. Some students take less, 45, 50 minutes, but the standard time is 60 minutes. Another question from Jessica. Do you suggest that they do it all in one sitting or in parts over a longer period? Well, what we found is that all students are different, but most visit the course on more than one occasion. So most students take it in parts. But some students, not like 25, 30%, just do it all in one go. At the end, there's a multiple choice quiz in which students have to decide whether something constitutes plagiarism or doesn't. And so there's a long sort of a practical quiz. And if students pass that quiz, they get a certificate, and it means that they've finished the program. So the end game is to pass that quiz at the end, and students will study the course once or usually on a number of occasions. Okay. Oh, from Felix. Do you offer trials before an institution pays for the course? Yes, we do. So we give you access to our virtual learning environment for a limited period. If you want a free trial, just contact Wendy and she'll send you some access details. And then if you like the course, you can then subsequently pay for a subscription and decide whether you want to continue using our virtual learning environment or put the course in yours. And another question from Felix. Do you deal consortiums? Yes, we do. So we work with consortiums in Ireland and in the Netherlands and in different places. So yes, we're comfortable with that, and we're used to making those kind of offers. And again, Wendy is the person who will be able to give you more details on that. Okay. Well, thank you very much for listening. I hope you found this useful, and I hope that you're interested in joining this project. So thank you very much, and I'll say goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Bye, everybody. Bye.